It's not the most ideal conditions today. We've got a 4.5-foot swell at 14 seconds with a lot of energy between that interval. The wind is forecasted to pick up to about 20 miles per hour in the next hour, so that's not going to help anything at all. I still think I can catch a bunch of fish though, maybe even a limit, and I'm going to try out a couple new techniques. I've got two 9-foot 4-inch Fisherman's Life 4-piece travel rods that fit into these protective tubes. I've got this 5,000 size Okuma reel. Thank you Nick Fish for getting this for me. I've got 30-pound main line, and it's going to 30-pound fluoro as my leader, and it's going to this spoon. This spoon is probably about a ½ an ounce. Once I find the fish, I can start throwing out the bait. Oh, there's bite. Definitely, that was a tap. That was a good one. Oh, there's a bite. 2 bites. Might have to get it a bit deeper though. All right, I'm going to add a little something extra now. So same rig, there's the spoon, same leader. The only thing different, I added a 1.5 ounce egg sinker. Now I was going to change this spoon to this Lucky Craft minnow, and I'm still planning on doing that, but I just want to be methodical about this. Adding this 1.5 ounce weight should allow this spoon to get a little bit deeper. Definitely more in the zone. I can let it sink for about 3 or 4 seconds and then start the retrieve. I like the zone it's fishing at, but they might not want this spoon. I know this Lucky Craft won't get down to the depth that I want, so I'm going to keep this egg sinker on there. The only thing that makes fishing these hard baits kind of difficult, with the weight or not, is that when you get it close to shore, they dive down, so they dive right into the rock, so you got to be careful about that. First cast, 1.5 ounce weight, hard bait, Lucky Craft, let's go. And I got to get close to the edge so I don't lose that lure. Of course, the edge is where it's always slippery, so you got to be careful for that too. Oh, fish on. Oh, right at the edge. Oh yeah, it's a good one. Oh, it's a good one. Oh, it's a nice one. Holy cow. Woo, yeah, baby. Let's go. That is a really nice one. Woo, yeah, baby. From shore, that's a beautiful rockfish. There's 10% to my limit. All right, I'm gonna put him in the live well. We're gonna keep him fresh. Where should I keep him? This spot looks good. This is all, we'll just let him breathe in here. Let's get him to the deepest spot, actually. Wow, what a beautiful fish. Hell yeah. If there's one of these, there's probably a bunch. Just make sure his gills are in the water. Okay, if his gills are in the water, he'll be okay. This is all fresh water that's coming in with waves here. I'll just keep an eye on him, make sure he's breathing. Oh yeah, that feels amazing, man. Just a few casts, and I was able to find them. Not where I was expecting to see them, but they're there, and for all I know, they might be schooled up right at my feet. But until we get a slightly larger sample size, we don't know whether it followed it in from out there or if it was right here. Whew, man, big waves. But where there's one black rockfish or blue rockfish, there's bound to be more. I almost guarantee if I were down there diving, that would not be the only black rockfish down there. Oh, fish on! Yeah! Oh, it's a good one! Oh, let's go! On the Lucky Craft! Oh, this is a good one, y'all! Oh, wow. This might be a ling or something. Or a giant blue or black. Oh my gosh, I don't know. What is big? Oh my gosh, it's taking drag. Let's go. What is this? Oh man. Not really fighting. That's a good one though. It's heavy. Oh yeah, come on in here. Oh yeah, let's go. What is it? Oh my gosh, it's a giant black or something. What is this? Did a ling come up for it? What in the heck is this? Oh, it's a nice lingcod. Oh my gosh, I think that's a keeper. Oh, there we go. Ah! Oh my gosh. I got 30-pound test on here. Oh, don't come off. These trebles on the Lucky Craft are not strong at all. Oh, he just went for a massive run. get over here. Keeper? Oh, I don't know. Probably not, actually. Here, let this big wave take him up for us. Right over here. Come on, baby. Oh, it might be a keeper. I think it's a keeper. They need to be 22 inches. Ah! Oh my gosh, let's go. Ah! Whoa, no. Oh my gosh, I'm all wet. My black rockfish is probably being washed out right now. Where is he? There he is. Don't get washed out. Stay there. And there's my ling. Oh, that's a close one for that black. Oh, that was so fun. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's off. Oh, that's definitely a keeper. That's like 25. Let me go get that black rockfish so I don't lose him to the next big wave. These are best to lip. You can lip these ones. It's a really nice fish too. So that one's 14.5 inches. That's a great size black rockfish. Let's get him in the water, keep him alive. What's up, little buddy? Here's your friend for you. Ah, what a beautiful catch. I've only been fishing for 1 hour. Now, most important thing, when you're going to recast after catching a big fish like that, check your line for frays. You do not want to mess that up. I got another one. Oh, okay, okay. Let's see, is it a black or a blue? It's a baby black. That's a baby black. Good lingcod bait, but not good for me today. So this is probably what's right at my feet. A bunch of blacks. You'll either get blacks or blues. Usually you don't get them too mixed up. But this one was probably right next to that big one that I caught earlier, that 14-incher. I'm glad I came back out here. I was out here last week, but my audio wasn't working. I caught a couple of fish that day, but I wanted to come out and make this a good quality video. So I made the 4-hour drive from home. It's 10:30 right now. I'm gonna give myself a hard stop at 11 to try my other technique. I don't want to spend all day on this, even though it's pretty productive. I still want to give the other techniques a try. No bites for the last 20 minutes, that's long enough. I'm gonna go to the danger zone where it's a little wet, a little more exposed, but probably deeper. Might as well give that a shot before 11. I can't fish anywhere where the water is washing over the rock, so I gotta choose my spot carefully. I thought it was gonna be rough all over, but on the opposite side, it's really not too bad. It doesn't look like this rock is getting washed over. I can't tell for sure though. I'll fish from this dry spot and keep an eye on that spot. Oh, yeah, it sure is getting washed over. I was just about to stand over there. See how it's all wet by my feet? And then you can see the lighter rocks. Those haven't been splashed for a while. And the tide is dropping. It was high tide at 9:30. It's 10:51 right now, so I don't have to worry about waves washing over this rock for the most part. Now I've fished this area so much that I know how deep it is, and it's really deep there, so I can let it sink for 5 or 6 seconds, no problem. But in another area, you might have to let it sink 2 seconds, and you might have to switch to a 1/2 ounce weight. 1.5 ounce weight might be way too heavy. That was a good bite right there. That was a really good one, probably a ling. How could it not get hooked on the treble? That was so surprising. So if you're kind of new to rock fishing, I'll give you a tip on trying to avoid some snags. So you can see this shelf here. You could fish from that for sure, but that formation probably extends into the water. So when you're fishing from this shelf and you cast out over there, you might get snagged along this formation coming out here. Same thing as that one. That one probably extends out a little bit further, and try to cast in between those or to the sides of those. And the more that you fish it, the more you'll get a feel for each fishing spot. Too snaggy over here. I don't like it. All right, let's try the other setup. On my other rod and reel, I've got this Daiwa BG5000 with 40-pound braid, and that's going to 20-pound mono as my leader. the bobber, but I have no bobber stopper. On the 20-pound fluorocarbon, I've got a size 2 octopus hook tied to a dropper loop, and below that I snelled another size 2 octopus hook. I got a couple bags of anchovies, no tray bait this time. I found that this pack of anchovies, the bait looks really fresh. It might as well be tray bait. I'm going to take one anchovy, and we're going to cut it right behind its butt at an angle towards its head. I don't think it really matters which order you do this, but on the bottom hook, I'm going to go straight through this hard part of the anchovy's head. There's a bone here that'll help keep the bait on the hook, and you just want to make sure that that hook tip is exposed. That's how we're going to do that one. You could do a whole anchovy also. I'm going to start with these 2 pieces just because I'm targeting blacks and blues. Now on this top piece, I'm just going to thread through the meat, and it should be firm enough to hold for at least a few casts. Hook tip is exposed. We'll let that rockfish eat the bait for a while and get hooked. Now this could totally work without the bobber, and it does. That's how I first learned it from Scott Fish. Thank you, bro. But the only problem with fishing it with no bobber is that you can't cast far. The bobber just allows you to cast 20 times farther than you would be able to without it. So I'm just gonna try it right here first. That bait's gonna sink really slow, and I'm not looking at the bobber to sink down. All I'm doing is keeping kind of tension on the line. I mean, if I do feel a bite, I'm actually gonna let him eat it first. I took the bobber off. It just wasn't working. Just wasn't sinking down because the weights and all that just wasn't right. So no bobber here, especially because I have to cast so close. I don't have to cast far at all. I just got to be gentle with my cast. My bail is open and I'm holding my line, just letting it sink naturally. I'm also watching my line, and if it moves or gets tight, I'm letting that be my indicator. If it starts running, I'm going to let go of my line, let it run a little bit, and then I'll close the bail on it, and that'll be my hook set. Oh, there's a bite. Where we at? Oh, I think it might have taken it over here. Yep, there's a fish on. I got him. Oh, nice one. Nice one, whatever it is. Oh, baby. What is it? Haha, let's go. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. Felt that one. Right in the nick of time, too. That's a keeper, baby. It ate the head piece. I'm gonna add him to the live well. That's fish number 3. Ah, such a fun way to fish too. Hold him tight, unhook him. Heck yeah, let's go give him a measure. We'll rebait, cast right out in the same spot. It's probably a 13-incher, a little smaller, but definitely a keeper. Everybody's still good over here. We'll just add him to his friends. Make sure this one's still alive. You all right, bud? Oh yeah, definitely alive. You can see that one changed colors. That one's more white now. And this one, you need to stay in the deep water or else you'll die. So stay over there. Perfect, perfect spot. 1, 2, 3. So that one ate the head. Let's do 2 head pieces. Forecast was right. Wind is really starting to pick up. I caught this last one right around here. So I think I can catch 7 more fish. If the bait is frozen, it takes a little extra time for that thing to sink. You wait 40 seconds, the bait might still only be 5 feet from the surface, and it's got 30 feet to drop. So just be patient. You don't want there to be too much slack, or it might blow into some mussels and get stuck, snagged. Be aware of your line at all times. You want a slight bow so you can feel the bite, but you don't want it bowed. You don't want it too tight so it's not sinking. Got one. Another one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Another same size. Yes, yes. Oh man, it don't stop. This is about the smallest size that I would keep. But if I was on a boat and it was a tough day, I'd be keeping that. Another black. Oh, hey. Oh man. You can keep 10 rockfish a day. And these black rockfish count as a single species, so you can keep 10 of these, you can keep 10 blues. The only things you can't keep 10 of are vermilion, golden eye, or yellow eye, and something else. But all those are like deeper water, so anything you can catch from shore, you can pretty much keep all 10. And this is of February 2025. And of course, lingcod don't count towards the rockfish limit. If you caught cabezon, they would, but lingcod don't. So I got 3 rockfish and 1 lingcod. I could keep 7 more rockfish. Haven't gotten anything, no bites for the last 20 minutes again. I'm gonna go with the conventional method. I'm still using 30-pound test mainline and 30-pound test fluoro leader. This is a 1/2 ounce long shank Fisherman's Life jig head. And this swim bait is a curly tail from Fisherman's Gold, which reminds me, they were a vendor at the street fair last year, and we're having the same Fisherman's Life street fair at Stonestown in San Francisco, July 12th. Collaborating with June, More Than Fishing, his surf fishing tournament sign up is going to be that day at the street fair also. So I really hope to see you guys there again. It's always a good time. Live music, food, tons of fishing vendors, so hope to see you there. Let's try to get closer to our limit with this method, and then we'll try another one after that. Big seal over there looking at my line. Punk seal. I think I've gone over this method so many times I don't need to refresh your memory on that. Fishing with the jig head and swim bait. This 1/2 ounce weight is just too light. I'm gonna switch to something else, but first, I'll try the original technique which got me the first ling. So much nicer over here. No wind barely. Tide is low enough now where I can fish this rock safely. At least to cast. Let me get a couple good casts in. Then I can come back to the safe spot and keep an eye on these waves. I found him. I found him. I can cast so far with this thing that all I have to do is swim it back, and chances are I'm going to pass some kind of school of black or blue. Now, is it big or small? Can't tell, but I got one on here. It's decent size. Oh yeah! Oh, blue. Okay, okay. Oh, good enough to keep. He went right for it. Got hooked right here. It popped off. And the second treble hook. Oh, was able to get him. You gotta hold on real tight when you get them like that. Yeah, that's a nice blue. It's about the same size as that last black that I caught. So I know the school of blacks are over there and the blues are over here. Man, I love this method with the hard bait and the 1.5 ounce egg sinker. If it's really deep and really rough, you might have to go with a 2 ounce. And the good thing about spooling up a reel with some new line is that you can cast it so far. All right, everybody's looking good in here. Yes, they are. Looks like it. There you go, Mr. Blue. We'll do a close side-by-side comparison at the end of the day between all the fish. Well, I'm going back to the bobber. No bobber stopper. 2 hooks still. Half an anchovy on there. I put a whole anchovy on the bottom with a small weight. I think the best thing that could happen here is that I find myself in a rip current. I know you can't see it, but I got the bobber in a rip current and it's probably about 100 yards out there and it's still just pulling out. Cover a lot of ground fishing this way, but man, it's pretty hard to tell where you're at. Just floating around, don't know if you're on bottom, don't know if you're in the middle, don't know if you're too high. I think if you're gonna do the bait with no weight, best to not include the bobber. We're gonna try one more spot with this bobber, then I'm gonna go cut up those fish. You know, one bag of tray anchovy costs about $12 depending where you go. They got 2 bags of this bag anchovy and this only costs $6 a bag. And I still got a ton of anchovy and look how good they look. But I'm gonna return what I don't use. Let's go check on our fish. It's time to start cleaning up these fish, see if they're all still alive or not. I think they are. Lingcod, how you doing? Usually if you lift them up by their belly, they're pretty calm. Beauty, beauty. Oh, I'm going to cut all these fish's gills and bleed them. They're all very lively. Actually, I'm going to stab this one in the head first so it's dead, not suffering. Dead. Let's bleed him. Rockfish number 2. So here's a side-by-side comparison of a blue rockfish and the black rockfish. Black rockfish, you can tell its mouth is way bigger. Blue rockfish a lot smaller. The blue one has a slight blue-purple hue to it. The black is pretty much black and white. Something else, the eyes smaller on the blue rockfish and their bodies are wider. Their meat is also slightly more mushy. Black rockfish, firm, delicious, hard to overcook, always stays moist. Now I have so many rock fishing techniques that I can't even fish them all in one day. I remember it only used to be bait, and then it was swim baits, and then it was jigs, and then it was bobbers, and now I got the hard bait, and now we also have no weight, just bait. So if you've watched my videos over the years, you should have enough tools in your bag of tricks to catch some rockfish. I'm going to fillet all these. Last time I was out here, I did catch 2 fish. There was one really tough one to get up from the rocks. It actually got snagged with no weight, and only bait. But I was able to get it free with the jig. And after that, I cooked it up.
Come on, man. One time. Man, that fish is all kinds of stuck. Oh, there, I got him. Oh, I think I got him. Look at that little guy. Oh, you're so lucky, dude. That's not a bad fish. Hey, I'll keep that. Now that I got him in, why not?
So here we have 2 different types of rockfish, both venomous in their own way. If you get pricked by one of those spines, your hand might throb up, might feel like a bee sting. You might get swollen depending on yourself. Even these on the cheeks, always nice to hold them by the mouth, or you can even hold them by the eye socket if they're small. If they're big, they'll flop around and they'll get you. Nowhere near a limit, but it's always good to have ambitious goals. So I'm gonna make some dinner real quick. The sun's setting fast. I probably got about an hour. Very similar looking meat. Just take out the pin bones. V cut right down the center. We got a boneless fillet. That's the black rockfish, and that's the black and yellow. The black rockfish does feel a little bit more firm, but they're very similar. Whoa. Man, my tortillas broke. A lot of people say they don't like cheese with their fish tacos. I don't see anything wrong with it. Tastes perfectly fine to me. Salt, pepper. Black rockfish, China rockfish. Just hang out right there on the rock. I'll get you in a minute. These are the 2 black rockfish. These are the black and yellows. Or the Chinas. I'm pretty sure it's black and yellow though. Oh yeah, that's done. Perfect. Well, first things first, this is the black rockfish. Oh, that's good. Very neutral, no fishy flavor at all. Delicious. That's just the quintessential rockfish flavor. Moist, hard to overcook, really good. This is the black and yellow. I think got quite a little bit of a different flavor. A little more mushy, not quite as firm. Delicious nonetheless. I think the black and yellow is more expensive if you were to go to a Chinese restaurant and buy it live. I think it's got enough salt already, so I'll just squeeze some avocado on here. Some spicy cabbage. And a little bit of hot sauce on each one. Some of you might be saying that this looks disgusting. Well, I'm glad it's not for you. Let's see how it tastes. Oh man, that's good. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And if you think it does look good, if you were out here, I'd share it with you. Well, it might not be guaranteed limits with this new fishing technique, but at least now you got 4 techniques to add to your arsenal. Swim bait, bobber, jigs, and the fly line, no weight anchovy. This is a good thing to have in your bag. So I'm gonna finish this up.
All clean fillets, washed in salt water, ready to be put on ice. I think that's one of my best hauls from shore so far. Thanks for watching, y'all. That's it for today.